Pain in the present can be dealt with. It's imagining future pain that hurts us the most. That quote hit different for me when I saw it at first. So I was watching Soul Eater the other day. Got to the part where like the Keishan broke out and then he had to fight like Lord Death in I think it's called the Death Room or something like that. And he's fighting him and then he's monologuing. But when he's monologuing, I'm listening to him and I'm like, he's not wrong, but his thought process was correct. He just got to like a weird conclusion. When you're sealed inside a bag of your own skin, there's only so much you can do. The mind starts to wander. And I was like, it's kind of hard. I don't really know what it means. I've never been sealed inside a bag of my own skin, so I can't relate. But he's talking, and one of his main talking points was that if you imagine pain or you imagine something bad happening to you, the imagination of it and it replaying in your head is often worse than the actual event itself. Me learning that and listening to that, I don't know, I just added it to my arsenal. I was like, that is actually facts. Why is it that people have a habit, or our brains have a habit of just focusing on something that really isn't even real? It's like fighting a ghost. It's like a ghost just pulling up and just trying to like bully you. And then you're punching the ghost and you're wasting energy punching the ghost and he's just standing there like, and it's just going through him. So they agreed on everything, but when they got to like the main point of the conclusion, that's where they split up. So the Keishan or Ashura, his idea was that he's gonna stop thinking, which it's like, bro, really? Like he doesn't want to feel pain so bad he decided to stop thinking. Wait, the camera is off center again? Or I felt like he had very good points. And a lot of the stuff he was saying, we can apply in our everyday life. It was like, he'd rather inflict pain on others than feel it on himself. It's pretty cowardly, that's a pretty cowardly action. But to be fair, if most of us were sealed inside our own skin, right, for however many years he was sealed inside of his own skin, we probably would come to a similar conclusion, like, bro, I just don't want to think no more, bro. It's imagining future pain that hurts us the most. That is an intrusive thought. So, intrusive thoughts, which is something we all know about. So basically, he let his intrusive thoughts win, or he let his intrusive thoughts whoop him into submission. And now he's like going around as this like husk, just telling people not to feel, not telling, he's trying to murk everybody, but he's going around as like this husk like that because he doesn't want to feel pain anymore. He's like anti-pain, but he's too anti-pain. Now it's true, you shouldn't waste time worrying about it. That was the Keisha's biggest point that I like. He was like, you can't focus on what might happen because anything could happen. Let's say there are 10 outcomes and you only focus on 4. What about the other 6, right? It's like there's no way to tell. That's why they say when you deal with it in the present, you know exactly what you're dealing with. And that ties into the point again, he said you can't let your mind run off with you. If you let your mind run off with you and it runs off with these thoughts and this negativity, then you end up causing more pain than necessary, and 2, oftentimes you end up bringing that version of reality to yourself because you're operating like it's happening, right? Because you're operating like it's happening, so then it changes and then it warps how you interact with the world, and then that in itself will bring it towards you. You can also narrow it down to just not worrying about anything because it's pointless. And this is where he was right. This is another part. The Keishan, I wouldn't say his madness, but bro, if you watch the show, you can see he was tweaking. Like, I'm not defending bro in any way, but he had very good points. That's why I got the little thing. It's kind of like the little thing on the odds. And he had a sauce. I'm not gonna lie, he had it on. It's sad when you see a person or like villains who just know everything. Okay, 1 + 1 is 2. Yeah. 2 + 2 is 4. Yeah. So I'm gonna just stop thinking. It's like, no, bro, that's not how that works. It's like, it's not how that works. There are people that do this and have done this. You can either do what he did, which is just like avoid everything and, basically let the fear run your life, or just face reality, bro. That's the only 2 things you can do. You can't spend time worrying about something that might happen because it hasn't happened. And you also can't let your mind like run off with you. And he was strong enough to realize that. But when it came to like, well, I agree with you, but maybe you shouldn't make the whole world try to like stop thinking, and maybe you shouldn't be killing people. That's where he's just like, oh, that's a disconnect. He's like, oh no. But if I was sealed inside the bag of my own skin, that is like the pinnacle of rage bait. Because what do you mean you're trapped inside yourself? Like, not even like, oh, in a mental sense, like, oh, he's deep inside his soul and he's lost. No, like he peeled the skin off of him, put him in a bag, and then put him inside the bag. And then when he got out, everybody want to look at him crazy like he was wrong. And he said it himself. He was like, bro, I was sealed inside the bag of my own skin. You expect me to get out and start talking normally? Like, no, bro. Yeah, he was talking crazy. The only part he's tripping on is the conclusion. That's it. That's the only part where you're like, bro, you're bugging, bro. You can't just... One, pain is useful, and here's why it's useful. How you interact with that decides what happens to you and like in your life. And this anime and this fight was literally like the pinnacle of that I can see in my head. It's literally just two different everything happening the same, but arriving to two different conclusions. Though valid, both of them are pretty valid. You can see their points. One is clearly just better than the other. It just depends on how strong the person is. And it all comes down to how strong you are. If you're strong enough to, one, take ownership of your pain and take ownership of your thoughts and recognize that, okay, you're thinking them, but you can also not think them. You can choose you feel me? You can choose, okay, well, obviously this thought or this pain I'm imagining is just a ghost. It's there, it's not really here, it's not really happening. Reality is actually contradicting it, but I'm still stuck on it. You have to ignore it. And the crazy part is about like intrusive thoughts. One thing I've learned about intrusive thoughts is that when you stop taking them seriously, after a while, if you kind of think back on it, you see how stupid it was. Like, you see how it just made no sense. But the worst part about intrusive thoughts, I would say honestly, and why it scares a lot of people, and I see why a lot of people aren't strong enough to like overcome basically what he did, but like I said, no one's been sealed inside the bag of their own skin. The reason it's so hard is because it feels like there's no escape, right? It does. I'm so serious. It does. I've been through that. It feels like there's no, like you're just gonna sit there, you're gonna suffer. There's no escape. And you know why there's no escape? Because your mind is like, you're looking for a conclusion to something that hasn't happened. If you're watching this video and you're somehow sealed inside the bag of your own skin and you want a tutorial on how to not go crazy, watch this video. And if you're not sealed inside the bag of your own skin, congratulations. You don't have to worry about not thinking anymore. That was a crazy conclusion, bro. Like, seriously. Like, I don't know. I had to talk about it. I was like, how do you come to that point? What do you mean you stop thinking? Well, you can't just not think. And he said, want to bet? So the point of this story is, don't fight ghosts. Peace.